Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper.
All right, Garfield, we're not wasting any time. There's an issue that happened this week with Article 26, Section 5, DOT hours of service. I'm handing it right over to you.
Listen, and if anybody that wants to follow along, read along with us, this is on page 92 of the National Master. So, and I'm sure it's been going around, but we're going to start off by just reading the whole article. It's one paragraph, and we'll break it down after that. So, Article 26, Section 5, DOT hours of service. The company shall not change the DOT 60 hours in 7 days to 70 hours in 8 days rule for package drivers except at peak. With prior approval to the company's President of Labor Relations and Teamsters Package Division Director, the DOT standard may also be changed if required due to acts of God or emergencies creating service disruptions. When the company changes the 60-hour rule, it shall first solicit volunteers to work in excess of 60 hours from all package car drivers in the center. If sufficient volunteers cannot be obtained to cover the over 60 hours work, the company will first force seasonal package car drivers, non-seniority package car drivers, and then part-time cover drivers, driver classifications. Any regular package car driver who volunteers to work over 60 hours in a week pursuant to this paragraph will be compensated at double time for those hours. This paragraph supersedes any provisions in any supplement, rider, or addendum which addresses this subject. This section is not intended to give the company the right to force seniority package car drivers to work on a weekend unless permitted by the applicable supplement, rider, or addendum. And that's it. That's the whole paragraph where it covers this DOT hours of service.
Yeah.
So let's start off with the first one. The company shall not change the DOT hours of 60 in 7 days to 70 hours in 8 day rule for package drivers except at peak. So what is peak for us?
October 15th to January 15th.
October 15th to January 15th, because that's when they can start hiring seasonals, is October 15th. So it's 3 months that we give the company the ability to just willy-nilly change it to DOT hours from 60 to 70.
It's got to be, I mean, the union's got to agree to it too.
I mean, do they during peak? Like we've had this, we've run into this before because there's a period there before it goes on with prior approval.
I know. It's, but they speak. So, bottom line is what they do is they speak about it, and the companies, they'll call, hey, this is what we want to do. And, the union, the union is going to obviously, what is the union going to do? Okay.
I mean, this is the problem is with, at what point is the union going to stand up and say, is this something that you did to yourself? Why should we allow our drivers to be punished for your lack of preparedness? I mean, this is a problem. This is a problem that, my 19 peaks with this company. This is a problem we've had every year. And if you talk to somebody who's been here for 30 peaks or 40 peaks, they're going to say the same thing. The company refuses to prepare for the holiday, the most important holiday that it happens the same time every year.
Yep.
That's just where we're at.
So listen, and we know that, and that's the problem. Yeah. It's like when peak gets here, it always feels like, oh, you didn't know peak was coming. You know what I'm saying? Like it's and again, they don't. The whole thing with want to laying off people during the year. This is peak season. You have to staff it appropriately. You know what I'm saying? And like I don't know why they allow the company the leeway. We get it's a busier time of year, so hire more people.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, right? And in our center, we're running into problems with the PVDs not showing up. Like one or 2 days this week, they had like 20 PVDs just not show up to work. And then they've had several quit in the middle of the day. Be like, nope, I'm done. And then you'll have, at the end of a driver's full route, they go out with, it's peak. They're going out with 250, 300 stops sometimes. They're coming back to the building and they're like, oh, well, this PVD didn't finish their day or didn't show up. We need you to take 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 or 100 stops and go finish delivering at 8
So
o'clock
let me
at
ask you
night.
something. So if you hired drivers, PVDs, not PVDs,
No,
PCDs,
PCDs.
as they call them. So they wouldn't just quit in the middle, right? They'd be hired, and they'd be actual drivers, not
This is
just I'm working, this time of year.
I'm not going to say that they wouldn't because I'm sure because I've
No,
seen
there's always a chance,
but there's a
you know what I'm
chance. But
saying.
like if you're hiring people like for the long haul,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they've got skin in the game. They're
Exactly.
the chance. PVDs are basically it's just a license for the because there's no restrictions on there. You're not part of. They're not really a part of the union. You're coming in. You're really only gonna work from like after Thanksgiving to like just to basically after just because they can't work past the 26th of December, right? So you're basically gonna work for a month, and it's just a license for the company to abuse you.
So I just want to go back a little bit didn't they say they were going to get rid of the PVDs? So, but again, it goes to show again, like, and I know there's give and take and things, but this is them directly like this is what happens. Either they don't show up, they're taking our work anyway. We want a package car driver doing the work, someone who's getting a pension, someone who's getting paid well, right? We want all that.
Yep.
We want all getting the all the insurance and everything.
Point.
Not someone who, I'm just going to quit. We want just like Rhodey taking our work, right?
Yeah.
But that's separate. Just had to get that in there,
So that's that. If you don't have anything else, I'm gonna move on to the next sentence here. With prior approval, the company's president of labor relations and Teamsters Package Division director, the DOT standard may also be changed if required due to acts of gods or emergencies creating service disruptions. So we've had this happen a couple of times in Texas, because if we have any type of ice, half of the state shuts down. So
if an ice cube falls on the ground,
people can't drive around here when it's a little wet, when the roads are a little damp, let alone when it's icy.
Yep.
So we'll have a delay. We'll have a day or two that will be shut down, or not a lot of stuff will get delivered. Then basically, it takes a whole nother week or so to get caught up from that, at least. And we've had the 70-hour rule activated in those cases of emergency
conditions.
Emergency conditions. Yeah. But the contract's pretty clear that they have to get, and I can understand if that were the case, if it were the case of something like that, and not just a lack of preparedness on the behalf of the company.
Yep, that's understandable.
When the company changes the 60-hour rule, and this is the most important one. As far as I'm concerned, this is the most important sentence in the whole paragraph.
Here we go.
When the company changes the 60-hour rule, it shall first solicit volunteers to work in excess of 60 hours from all package car drivers in the center. To me,
I heard that.
This means that if they're not going to solicit volunteers, this is what it means to me, then they can't force anybody to work over 60. And I want to be clear. If you want to work over 60 and you want to make your double time to 70 hours, fucking far be it for me to hold you back. Like, I'm more, if people feel that they're safe and prepared and want to make that 70-hour work week, more power to you. But there are as many of there are of you, there are just as many that don't want to work 70 hours, that they think 60 is more than enough, and they want to spend those other 10 hours getting rest and spending time with their family and all of that. And
so safety reasons involved as well.
That's the reason why DOT hours of service exist. Mm-hmm. And, it's one thing to be sitting behind the wheel of a tractor for 70 hours, but it's another to be doing what we do for 70 hours every week. And we've had this happen this week. Of course, it happened on Thursday, I believe, is when we got was it Wednesday or Thursday when we got the word? Thursday. When we got the word that we were going to do it. So they wait until the end of the week. Always until the end of the week to get this approved. So you've got Tuesday through Saturday that have already volunteered their time to come in and work on Monday. Mm-hmm. So they're screwed because the union stance at this point, from what I've been told, is that you still have to show up for your regularly scheduled workday. Your volunteer day was Monday. You still have to show up for Saturday. So you're getting fucked on both ends. And the only out at this point is if you get here by Saturday and you just feel like you can't do it. And if most of these centers' weeks have gone like our center's week has, then they're probably pretty run pretty ragged come Saturday. But this is where my issue is you've got your Monday through Friday drivers come through. They're working 12, 13, 14-hour days the rest of the week. They get the word on Thursday that, 70-hour rule is in place, but you think to yourself, oh, well, I'm only going to have 10 hours to work on Friday. So, this doesn't really affect to me. Turns out, the stance of the union and the company at this point is that, oh, no, you don't have the right to bring it in at 60. You have to go out there and continue. You have to continue your work, or we're going to consider it job abandonment if you bring it back. And I'm just like, nobody was solicited. No volunteers were solicited.
Yeah.
Why do they have the right to force us? Why even have this language if we're not going to fight for it? Why say that these guys can just be like, oh, you know what? We didn't prepare. We'll just make everybody work 70. Sure.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, now granted, Monday through Friday drivers can't be forced to work on Saturdays anymore. And that's all well and good, but maybe I don't want to work 64 hours. Maybe I don't want to work 60 hours and 30 minutes. Maybe I don't want to work 60 hours and 1 minute. Well, I shouldn't have to because the company didn't do the bare minimum of asking for volunteers.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, listen, you can't skip steps. I mean, like anything else, if they're going to discipline you and they want to go right to a termination, if it wasn't a cardinal, offense, then okay, so what the hell's where's the warning? Like they just love to do that, right?
Yeah.
But why does the union say it's okay? That's the problem, right? Why is it okay? What about protecting the workers, right? I don't understand that. So something happened in your center this week, right?
So we had some issues with this. Of course, a lot of my stewards and my members are very educated because I've made it a point to educate them on these issues. And we've had some disagreements with the BA about how this should be going about. And they took the stance that no, you guys don't have the right. Like you should. If you have to work over 60, you're just going to have to file on it. Well, filing on it doesn't do any fucking good. Chances are it'll never even be fucking heard. But
10 months later, a year later.
Yeah. It's already done. Shit.
It's the point of the actual happening that day. You want that to stop.
That's it. It's like, I don't need a decision in 6 months, 8 months, a year. I need a decision right now because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I've been working. Yeah. I've already put in my 60. I shouldn't have to be forced. I shouldn't be forced to work over 60. That's the point of this fucking language. So why are we just going to let it happen?
Well, I mean, and that last paragraph, it wasn't intended to force, like package car drivers to, seniority package car drivers to work the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Like, really? I mean, it seems like it is. It seems like you want us to. It seems like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a problem. And again, it seems like they wanted to make it another gray area, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what they're trying to make it. But we see it as clear cut, right?
Yeah. And we've talked, and Jeff, you and I have talked about this at length, if the company will take the stance that they're looking for volunteers, they'll get the volunteers. The vast majority of people will just be like, sure, I'll come in and work. I'll come in and make that double time. I don't mind.
Yeah.
It's whatever. But when you start forcing people to do things, that's when you get pushback.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at.
So you're sent out and you have 1 hour, you have 2 hours left, 1 hour, 2 hours left, and they send you out. and it looks like we don't go by numbers, but let's say truck is packed.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And they're telling you to stay out there and you're way over the 60 hours. How is that okay? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, this problem goes even deeper than this, because there shouldn't be a 70-hour rule in DOT either. Like when it comes down to it, DOT is there for a reason. It's there for safety, not only for us but for the general public.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be a 70-hour rule.
It was a company workaround, like a workaround. They wanted to work around it instead of doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Instead of hiring people, let's find a way around it. Let's see what the union's going to do.
Yeah.
And we know what the union did. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
we don't want that. And I mean, as members, we're frustrated that was allowed. I mean, they took the language out where they can straight force you on Saturdays, right? So, but hey, during these months, we can force you in here, basically. You know what I'm saying? And we can force you to do this. So, I mean, why even allow that? I mean, the union be like, oh yeah, we want more people. Hey, let's put more money into the pension. Hey, let's put more money into this. Let's do this. But no, let's just give it to the company and give them what they want, right?
Yeah. So we'll move on to this next one. If sufficient volunteers cannot be obtained to cover the over 60-hour work hours, the company will first force seasonal package car drivers, non-seniority package car drivers, and then part-time cover driver classifications.
Period.
There's no language in there whatsoever that says seniority package car drivers can be forced over 60. Now, once again, we've already gone over the fact that there was no solicitation of volunteers whatsoever.
They didn't exhaust all means.
So they didn't exhaust all means. And then second, there's no language in here that says we can be forced. That says seniority package car. Now, there's language that says seasonals, non-seniority package car drivers, and part-time cover drivers can be.
Yep.
But there's no language that says that the seniority package car drivers can be forced. So,
I mean, I see that too.
I mean, we want to get technical about this. Then let's get technical.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine.
This language should be there to protect us, and it's being used against us. It's being used to force people to work in an unsafe condition if they feel that
it's weaponized.
It's weaponized, exactly.
Yeah.
And once again, Jeff and I don't have a problem if people want to work over 60 hours. If that's a decision that you make, you know your body, you know your family situation. If that is something that all of those things can vibe with, and you want to go and make that double time and go to work and work over, more power to you. I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. Now, the part where I do have a problem with is the fact that, the Tuesday through Saturday guys that are getting kind of screwed on this. It's like, because they're showing up to help the company on Monday, and then they're getting fucked on the back end when they decide to do 70.
Yeah, well, listen, I just want to say also, it's not just because we believe, we see it that, seniority package car drivers, they can't force them. We don't believe it's okay that they can force in the TCDs. There's still a safety issue for them as well, right? I mean, but we're just going by the language, and we don't think it's okay either.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because they have families, same thing. There's no, difference. But we're going by what this says, and, it's like, okay, these people are going to be forced, but not, and that's not okay either. So,
to be perfectly honest, like the language in this section should say no package car driver. No, I don't want to. No, fuck it. No employee should be forced to work over 60 hours unless they volunteer.
Yeah. Well, not everyone's DOT regulated. Like the part-time, I mean, the part-timers.
Oh, yeah, the part-timers are not. Well, no.
The combos.
I mean, how often?
Combos.
Combos aren't DOT regulated? They still have to.
No, they can work the hours.
They still have to. They can still only work 14. They still don't fall under DOT because
No,
they
no,
still
the
do drive.
no, but they can go over the hours. They do. I mean, the combos, they're not driving. If it's, especially inside, but inside, outside, like we have a inside and, they're working, in the preload, and then they go to deliver at the mall. There's no driving. I mean, there's driving too, but they're not.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They're not regulated. But that's their choice,
once again, even if they're not DOT regulated, 60 hours of work is 60 hours of work. Should be more than enough for anybody. So I'd be okay with the language saying no employee can be forced to work over 60 hours unless they volunteer.
Yeah.
And all that does is say the company is like, hey, we need you to volunteer. Can you volunteer? No? Okay. Then that moves them on.
Yeah.
And it would put the company in a position to be like, hey, we got to make sure we have enough people.
It would hold them to their feet to the fire. It would make them actually have to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But we're like letting them get away with it, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Let's let them get away with it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's, Jeff and I have spoken at length about, the problems we have with this contract and, the problems we have with the way the union decides when and if to uphold it. But, this has just been egregious as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, it has. And yeah, listen, just so you know, and we always say, the company is going to do what they're going to do, right? Yeah. Let's get past. So we didn't agree with the contract. Let's get past it. So the company's still going to try to do, stuff that's not, that's against the contract. It's up to the union to push back every single time. And that's where we have a problem too. Yeah. That's the big problem, right? The company's getting away with murder. Yeah. Literally, in some cases, getting away with murder.
Well, and this is where I come down to, and this is the point that I tried to come across when, we've had our accidents in the last couple of summers. Everybody, we had the big one, not this past summer, but the summer before, where, the guy passed out and, crossed the lanes of traffic and all that kind of stuff. And, could have potentially killed himself and, other people on the road as a result. Yeah. Do you want, exhausted package car drivers, working 70 hours a week, driving up and down your neighborhoods, where your kids play? With school out, chances are, school's going to be out here in a week or two. You're going to have people that are working 70-hour weeks delivering packages. It's not like they're just driving. They're in and out of those package cars. They're lifting heavy stuff. They're exhausted. And, if you're working 14 hours a day, that leaves you 10 hours to get home, eat, get showered, get rest, and then be back at work. So, and spend time with your family. So this is where we're at. Do you want those exhausted package car drivers driving up and down the neighborhoods where your kids play, where you park your cars? It is a safety issue at its core. And what do we have to do to get the union? And, to be fair, what do we have to do to get the company to take it seriously? Absolutely.
Well, the union has got to make, agree with the company. There's got to be an agreement where, hey, listen, where the union pushes it, like they're saying, hey, listen, the safety of our workers are more important. We need you to do better. We want you to do better. We're going to make you do better. Yeah. Right. But yeah, no, we veered off a little, but everyone understands we're trying to say it's about safety, right? We're really, like anything else, it's safety. It's during the summertime, the heat, safety, being exhausted, which includes during the summertime too. Like, it's about safety. I don't understand. Hire more drivers, hire more workers, hire more, they want to get the most out of the workers they do. And it's not as if we're sitting at desks. No one at UPS is really sitting at a desk, right? No one's sitting, but they're all doing something. They're on their feet. They're touching packages, doing all that. It's a lot, right? So I mean, I just hoping, the next contract that some things will change.
Hopefully.
So yeah.
I want to go ahead and wrap this up a little bit. Any regular package car driver who volunteers to work over 60 hours in a week pursuant to this paragraph will be compensated at double time rate for those hours. And then the rest of that is just, supplement stuff. And then, of course, this section does not intend to give the company the right to force seniority package car drivers to work on a weekend unless permitted. So, sure, we get double time. Awesome. Like, once again, I think that should be purely voluntary. If you feel like that's what your life, that's the life you want to live for this particular peak, then more power to you. Make that money. But I just don't think anybody should be forced. There were I worked for the plenty of peaks in this company before this 70-hour rule was even put into place, and we never had a problem. I mean, that didn't involve extenuating circumstances like weather and things like that. We never had a problem getting finished. The company hired people. We worked late nights, but we got it done. But now it's just.
So I'm just going to say this, and I mean this, and I think during any negotiations, during any. When you're enforcing the contract that's there, our side has to be, they got to be fearless about how they're going about it. I mean that though. Yeah. It's serious, and it's we can't just be like, oh, well, we're going to give a company this. I get certain things are give and take. I get that. Right. But is safety is people's lives. Is that a give and take? Or is that, hey, we're gonna protect our workers, our the union members at all costs.
Yeah,
and I mean that. That's the truth, and it's the only way it has to be, and it can't just be, I think sometimes when people who enforce the contract or who do the contract, they're so far removed from the operations, they forget about where they came from.
Yep.
Right. And that can't happen. That can't happen. You got to, or just listen to your members. Listen to what they're saying, at the very least.
Yeah.
So, I think we'll do this. I think one of the things we're going to do is we want to see what the members think.
Yes.
Members, check your contracts. Go 26 Section 5. DOT hours of service, and check and send in your responses and tell us what you think. We want to know what you think of this section in the article.
And I'd also like to hear if anybody actually got solicited, if anybody's centers got solicited for volunteers, because I haven't heard of any that had. Once again, in order for anybody to be forced, the way I read this contract, that should have happened. And from what I understand, it hasn't.
No, I mean, hey, everything's got to be filed. It's there for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Good or bad, right? It's still there.
It's still there.
But like a lot of other things, very important. Glad we talked about it. Needed to be talked about. Hope it gets addressed a little bit better. I mean, really, moving forward. So for myself and Garfield, everyone have a good day.
We all deal with national language, but on this podcast, when it comes to supplemental language, we deal mostly with the southern region. And as always, it's best to get advice from your local stewards or business agents. If you would like to reach out to us with any questions, we have an email address, 767realitycheck@gmail.com. That's 767realitycheck@gmail.com.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.